Day on the net, widespread internet outage in Iran. Online reports from Senegal as violence escalates in the run-up to the presidential election. And a new online dating service, especially for geeks. Iranians have been cut off from the internet again. It's the second time in less than a month. Email services and secure channels have been worst hit, along with proxy servers used over virtual private networks or VPNs. Servers that up until now have been used by companies and individuals to bypass government efforts to block access to foreign news sites and social networks. The authorities have issued no official statement, but the first disruptions came when the opposition launched online appeals to take part in demonstrations on the 14th of February. These attempts to mobilize the people to take to the streets clearly got the Iranian regime worried. As we can see in this amateur video footage, there was tightened security in Tehran that day to quell any rallies. The moves to cut off internet access are apparently aimed at silencing opponents in the run-up to Iran's parliamentary elections on the 2nd of March, the first election since the highly contested presidential election back in 2009. 100 or so reformist bloggers have already said they will be boycotting the upcoming elections. The authorities have repeatedly stated that a firewalled national internet will soon become operational, cutting Iran off from the rest of the world. And this latest outage has sparked concern this is now becoming reality. But new tools will no doubt soon be made available to help Iranians get back online. The Tor project, which focuses on combating online censorship, is developing new software to help the people of Iran circumnavigate the latest blocks. Violent unrest continues in Senegal with less than 1 week to go before the presidential election on the 26th of February. Riot police and opposition activists have been engaged in tense standoffs ever since the president, Abdoulaye Wade, announced plans to run for a third term in office. Local web users have been posting first-hand reports of the situation in Senegal on the web. These images were filmed over the past few days and show the street demonstrations taking place across the country, and in particular in the capital, Dakar. People are protesting Wade's plans to stand in the elections, saying it goes against the constitution. The authorities had banned any public rallies, and as we can see in this amateur video footage, these demonstrations have often descended into violent clashes with the police. We see security forces firing tear gas canisters at protesters. They've even thrown stones at demonstrators, as shown in this video clip posted online by senrevolution.com, a website with close ties to the opposition. Some web users at the scene have been reporting on the situation in real time, mostly via Twitter under the hashtags Sunu2012, KB2 and also M23. According to reports, several protesters have already been killed in the violence. And the anti-Wade movement appears to be steadily growing, and not just in Senegal. As we can see in these amateur documents doing the rounds on sharing sites, Senegalese living abroad have taken part in a number of rallies over the past few weeks. In Canada, for example, in France, in Germany, all calling upon the authorities to end the repression and voicing their opposition to the current president. Francis Kariuki, the chief of Kenyan village Lanet Umoja, is using Twitter as a crime-fighting tool. According to a report by the AP news agency, he sends out messages to townsfolk via the microblogging site to inform them of any crimes, burglaries, for example, or missing children. The messages are received either via the internet or via SMS, meaning villagers can come to the victim's aid as soon as possible. This latest initiative demonstrates the growing popularity of Twitter in Africa, even in the more remote areas. Geeks, these devotees of the internet and all things computer related. People often think they're shy and don't get out much. New online dating site geekmemore.com has been set up with this in mind. It's geared towards men and women who share the same interests and should help them overcome the bad reputation they've acquired. Launched in France at the beginning of January, Geek Me More already has over 15,000 members. American space agency NASA has released this magnificent video of the moon and the northern lights seen from space. It's a stunning show and available to view in its entirety on sharing sites.